Welcome to the Black Gay History Channel. Please share this video and subscribe to this channel for more captivating content. These days, black gay men from around the world struggle to find community amongst the religious and cultural spaces we were raised in, especially once our gay identities become known to ourselves and others. But this wasn't always the case. In many African ethnic groups prior to colonization, our ancestors actually celebrated gay, bisexual, and same gender loving men, which was perceived as a sign that these men were wise or spiritually gifted. Today, it's the opposite, where many of us are pushed out of spiritual communities because we're gay. Modern religions like Christianity and Islam demonized these indigenous spiritual practices as witchcraft, but before these witch hunts, gay African men were revered as spiritual leaders. Now, as black, gay, and non-binary men fight for their rights, we are acknowledging our cultural history as spiritually gifted people. The following 5 African ethnic groups are just several of many African ethnic groups that revered gay men as witches, wizards, and wise men. The Dagara of Burkina Faso. The Dagara, or the Dagaba as they are also called, are a small ethnic group that has history in several West African countries, including Ghana, prior to European colonization. And though there is a significant percentage of the Dagaba people that practice Islam and Christianity, their traditional spirituality has also been known to be practiced in modern times. In an extended quote from The Book of Water and the Spirits by Burkina Faso and American author Patrice Sommet, he basically breaks down the Dagara spiritual belief that gender has very little to do with anatomy, and that a higher spiritual attunement can make certain individuals vibrate at a higher frequency, making them gay or gender nonconforming. He goes on to note that many of the spiritual leaders in this community that were taking him through his own initiation ceremonies were gay. The Mandari people of South Sudan. The Mandari people are a Nilotic African ethnic group that have resided in southern Sudan and the surrounding regions for hundreds of years. Because of the Mandari people's history of indigenous African culture that was heavily influenced by later Islamic rule, Mandari people have in recent years had a more intolerant view of gay men and their sexuality. The Mandari men are also notable for their interesting beauty technique, using cow urine to bleach their hair blonde, a trademark of the group. In 1963, sociologist and ethnographer Jake Dryberg observed the stories of Mandari people in South Sudan, noting that the standing rumors of the gay men in the area is that they were practicing witches. While we know the accusation of being a witch in many cultures can be damaging, in many indigenous African cultures, gay and queer men are revered as magicians, wizards, and witch doctors, a title that was seen positively by its people until recently. This also proves that even if there were rumors of gay men and witchcraft among the Mandari people, it stands to reason that the Mandari were aware of gay people in their own communities. The Dogon of Mali. The wise men of the famed Dogon tribe of Mali, who are world-renowned astronomers, are said to be aware of extraterrestrial knowledge that still confounds scientists today. Many people who believe in, or at least curious about astronomy and alien theories, have likely heard of the Dogon, because they have been reported to have shared incredibly accurate details about stars in the sky for many generations in their culture. But what astounds modern scientists is that their tales of the star Sirius A having a twin star Sirius B was only recently proven accurate with modern telescopes, meaning that a star that is invisible to the naked eye was thought to be a myth of the Dogon before it was confirmed with modern technology. Their Dogon ancestors were told from visitors from the sky who came from the star Sirius B that these star people were like a half man, half fish, or amphibian, like people who can breathe underwater. The Dogon also say these star visitors, who they call the Nomos, also claimed that they had a hand in creating humanity, and these stories were passed down through the Dogon history, and even celebrated in a dance, with iconic lizard dances and costumes to mimic these ancient Nomos their ancestors once interacted with millennia ago. In the 1994 book by author Malidoma Somé, he even realized that some of the wise men he interviewed amongst the Dogon in Mali were gay and bisexual even if they had wives. In 1993, the author and spiritual workshop leader Somé would be quoted saying, "A tribe that knows astrology like no other that I have encountered, the great astrologers of the Dogon are gay. Everywhere else in the world, gay people are a blessing." The Congos of Angola. The Congo Kingdom was a sovereign kingdom and large territory in Central and West Africa that existed before European colonization from the year 1390 to 1857. Though the Congo Kingdom was really a conglomerate of many different smaller kingdoms and ethnic groups within modern day countries Angola, Gabon, Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Republic of Congo, for hundreds of years many ethnic groups in these countries worked together as one and were revered as a formidable force and kingdom on the world stage for hundreds of years. Giovanni Antonio Cavazzi was an Italian missionary who made note of the many queer characters and religious ceremonies he encountered on his time in Angola from 1591 to 1593, including that there were a group of men called the Gangaya, male wizards in charge of the sacrificial ceremonies in the community, who also had relations with men. Several other Europeans, like the Portuguese military historian Antonio de Oliveira de Coragna, took note of a social role for many Angolan men, the Kimbanda, powerful wizards who had carnal relations with one another. He wrote in his findings, quote, "Sodomy is rampant among the people of Angola. They pursue their impudent and filthy practices dressed as women. Their own name for those of the same sex who have carnal relations with each other is Kimbanda. Some Kimbandas are powerful wizards who are much esteemed by most Angolans." End quote. To hold in high esteem means these gay wizards were celebrated. European priests like Gaspar Azurveredo and Antonius Sequerius in 1616 noted that the Chivados or Kimbanda were men that sat and dressed like women and who married men to, quote, "unite in wrongful male lust with them." Even more shocking to them was the fact that these gay marriages were honored and prized. Again, there were gender nonconforming men marrying each other over 400 years ago in the Congo Kingdom, which is something that we need to discuss as modern descendants of Africa. The Fon people of Benin. Voodoo is a cultural and spiritual belief and religion that originated in West Africa, particularly the country of Benin, that was once called the Dahomey Kingdom. The Fon people of the Dahomey Kingdom in present-day Benin practiced and still do practice voodoo, which were open to gay relationships and gender-diverse people, and even had gods or loa that were also gay, bisexual, or trans. Today, many descendants of the Fon people in Haiti also welcome gay followers and even elected gay voodoo priests in recent years. There have also been interpretations of voodoo stories and the powerful natural spirits called loa that change genders, are attracted to the same gender, or are known to protect LGBTQ people who pray to them. At times, voodoo is conflated with witchcraft, though it's considered a religion, while some practitioners may identify as witches while many do not. Guide Nebo is a Loa, or a spiritual deity, who is one of the leaders of the spirits of the dead in Haitian voodoo. As well as being a healer, he is a patron of the dead, particularly the souls of those who have died young, or remains have not been found. Nebo was once a human, particularly a young handsome man, but he was killed violently in the prime of his youth. In the afterlife, he was made to be a Loa by a Baron of the Dead, Baron Samedi, and Mama Brigitte. He is envisioned as feminine or a well-dressed dandy. Aido Wedo, or the rainbow serpent, is a Loa, or fertility spirit, venerated by the Fon people and the Ewe people in Benin, Togo, and Ghana, as well as Haiti and the Caribbean. The rainbow serpent is the Loa of wind, fire, water, snakes, and of course, rainbows. In folk stories, Ieda Wedo's job is to hold up the sky and also has both a male half, which is red, and a blue half, which is female. Because the Loa is associated with fertility, the rainbow serpent is connected to blood and sensual fluids, all things connected to the creation of children, the menstrual cycle, and childbirth. Because of the Loa's sexual and gender fluid nature, the Loa is also venerated and associated with LGBT people in these regions as well. Baron Samedi is a Loa, or a primordial ancestor spirit from West Africa that originated in areas surrounding Benin, Togo, and Nigeria. He is so powerful and influential that he rules over a certain class of Loa called the Gide, the Loa that preside over the powers of fertility and death. He himself is considered the Loa of the dead, resurrection, and afterlife. In many stories passed down from generation to generation, and in many historical books on voodoo, Samedi is depicted as bisexual, dressing like a dandy, a particular old word that can mean a stylish man that is overly concerned with his looks, which many times alludes to his fluid sexuality as well. Baron Samedi, though considered male, can sometimes be seen dressing in women's clothes or becoming a woman altogether, alluding to his fluid gender identity. When he overtakes one of his devotees or rides them, it is, as it can be called in voodoo practices, Baron Samedi is known to make his followers partake in feminine sexual dances, as well as acts of intimacy with men.